I'd like to go over a couple business plan examples with you throughout this course. They should give you a better idea of what your final plan will look like and might give you more direction on what the formatting is. The examples will be agriculture-based, but should be applicable to any business because the general format for all businesses are the same. I'll be going through them section by section with you. This week we'll focus on section 1 that we covered in week 1, and the business model canvas, market analysis, and SWOT portions of the business plan that we will go over in week 2. The first business plan we'll be looking through is mine from my experience in 488 Business Management and Agricultural Enterprises class. It is written on expanding my family's farm in central Nebraska to include native wildflower or forb seed production. Let's go ahead and start where section 1 begins. The mission statement I developed is direct, informative, and applicable to the business today. It states that to produce high-quality seed for our customers on a sustainable operation that maximizes profitability and maintains excellent land stewardship practices. Each word here is handpicked to clarify the overall statement, and each word is very important. The vision statement, on the other hand, encompasses the goals we set for ourselves in the future. It states that Foster Grasslands will be a recognized leader in innovative grass and wildflower seed production and distribution in the Midwest, providing opportunity for future family generations to participate in production agriculture. Notice how both of these are concise and to the point. They don't take up too much room in the plan, but should have lasting impressions. In the goals or objectives section, I want to point out how many numbers and dates you see in this plan. These are specific, attainable, and measurable goals. For example, let's look at the first one. To plant 3 acres of annual forbs in April of 2017 for sale through Arrow Seed Company. Also to plant an additional 15 1/3 acres of biennials and perennials for harvest in 2018. Now that's pretty specific. The history section is a summary of the relevant points of your life that apply to the business or make your case for starting the idea stronger. In this plan, I included how I was raised on the family farm that specializes in another form of native seed production. And I included what I'm studying in college to expand my knowledge in this area. The current status section is defined by where you are in your business development right now. So for my business plan, I was talking to seed companies about what they needed me to grow. The product analysis subsection includes the rest of section 1, the key features, benefits, and competitive advantages. The features of the seed I will grow from this business plan will be rare, they'll be produced in field conditions, and be able to round out grass, forb, legume seed mixes. The seed is also produced, conditioned, and sold on a single operation. Benefits are directed towards the consumers. So basically, what are they getting from purchasing your product or service? What value are you giving them? Some benefits I outlined include you could save them time and money, and they'll also experience superior customer service and product quality. Finally, my 3 competitive advantages are: first, the unique land resources I'll be able to utilize for the production of the seed. Second, my work experience and knowledge of the business. And third, my connections with key individuals and organizations in my network. This section 1 is about 1.5 pages in length, double-spaced. And that's about right considering your final plan can only be 10 pages in length, also double-spaced. Next up, let's look at the Country Haven Farm business plan presented and written by Maggie in November of 2016. Again, scrolling to section 1. Hers takes up about 2 pages in length, which is also pretty acceptable. The key is to play up the strengths of your business plan and make them longer and more detailed, but also make sure you include all the sections. She has great mission and vision statements that I'll let you read through, and specific goals and objectives to start her business. Again, in her history, she outlines how she's the right person to start this business. And the current status discusses how her business name already has a well-known reputation in the community, so it has great potential for expansion. You can go ahead and skip both this strategy section and down here below the current state of development sections that are listed in this business plan, because in ours they'll be included elsewhere in the plan and will just end up being repetitive. But the product analysis portion is very important as a whole. She talks about how the key features of her product or business and the benefits that she'll bring to her customers and the competitive advantages she'll have over her competition. We'll be able to expand and clarify our competitive advantages when we study our competitors this semester. Now let's move on to the business model canvas. If you haven't already watched the lecture in Canvas, please watch that first. Otherwise, feel free to look over these examples I'm about to give you. Let's go ahead and start with Maggie's. I'll just do a little bit of scrolling here. Okay, you can zoom in. So, she included both her initial right here and her revised canvases in the business plan. However, I don't think that's necessary because it takes up too much valuable space. Just include the revised canvas in your final plan, but go ahead and turn them both in for the business model canvas due date. I'll reiterate from the Canvas lecture a little bit. You'll first need to create this, you'll create this first plan right here and show it to at least 30 people and get their feedback and suggestions on it. Then make your revisions as shown in red here. And you'll notice how she surveyed, I think she said 59 people, which is an awesome number, but she also surveyed them, which is not what we're after. We want face-to-face interviews or conversations, and I'll accept a few phone calls if you have some key people you need to talk to and you can't set up a meeting with them. Again, I'm sorry this is a little bit blurry, but we'll just have to deal with it. Notice how she was able to find a few points in each section that she added to each building block. That's great because it means you're talking to the right people. I hate to break it to you, but your Canvas won't be perfect the first time, and you should be striving to talk to people with great feedback who can help you improve it. Now, if we move over to my Canvas here, I can get there, maybe find it. There it is. Whoops, scrolled right past it. Okay. I was able to interview 34 people in addition to numerous people I talked to about the idea over the years. So my Canvas has less red markups on it because it was already a somewhat revised idea. As I said earlier, make sure you watch the lecture on how to create the Canvas and what to include and where to set yourself up, what to include and where to put it in order to set yourself up for success on this project. Now let's go over the actual building blocks in this Canvas. So let's start off with the customer segments. You'll notice I have listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different customer segments for this one product or native wildflower seed I'll be producing. I mean, there'll be a lot of different species, but I'm producing native wildflower seed and I've come up with 9 different customer segments for this product. So that's pretty, not all of you will have that many segments, but you can definitely strive to find at least more than 1 or 2. Even if you find that not all of them will be as profitable as others, it's important to have options, at least in the beginning. If we move over to the value proposition, I haven't exactly outlined a separate value proposition for each customer segment, but if that is the way your plan works best, I would highly encourage that. So if, for example, the county road departments around the state interested in doing roadside seedings are just mostly interested in the lower price and high quality seed, you could go ahead and link these two together with a separate color or a different format, that kind of thing. Or just list 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 like that. Okay, so now if we move into the channels, which is what I think I covered next, these are, again, how you will reach out to all of these different customer segments. So I've listed how we will get in contact with them, how we will get the seed to them, how we will provide that post-purchase support. So I'll be bidding on projects online. I'll be contacting homeowners and acreage owners through conventions. I've listed all these different options in the channels section that will help me get in contact with these customer segments and help me relay my value propositions to them. Now, these customer relationships will be outlined under here. So what you're striving for in that sort of realm. So here I'm looking for excellent customer service through hiring the right people passionate about the industry and business. I want to provide them with a quality product at a fair price, providing knowledge on the plant production practices. Excuse me. So what specifically are you looking for in that customer relationship? This even is a little vague. I want more description than what I gave back in the day, but this is what you could start with, something baseline like that. Now, if we move over to our key activities, this is, again, what you're doing to create your product or service. What are those key activities that allow you to create the value propositions to get to the customer segments? So in a typical ag production business, you have planting, weeding, irrigation, harvesting, combining, all of the things from planting to selling that you're going to be dealing with as key activities in the production process. And the key resources are what allow you to do this. So again, I mentioned earlier the healthy land or soil that I'll be utilizing, the clean, viable seed I'll be planting, the labor, et cetera, et cetera. Some key partners I have listed include my dad, Kirk, who's the co-owner and manager, also my parents who will be co-financing and co-owning the operation, etc. Look at all these different partners that I was able to identify in my network that would be super helpful to have in this business, backing up my business, helping me improve it. Cost structure, I've listed the fixed costs, which include the land rent and the insurance every year. The variable costs, which include labor, fuel, seed, marketing materials, fertilizer, that sort of thing. And the major investments I'll be looking forward to, or maybe the most expensive or most important costs is what you want to outline. Finally, revenue streams. So these are what your customers are paying for, how they're paying for them, that kind of thing. So each species of seed in my business plan are going to be priced different. They're going to be have a different price, but they're going to be priced per pound. And I'll compare the prices with Stock Seed Farms and Aaron Seed Company, two different big competitors in the state. The customers I've outlined will pay when they get their seed. There will be no billing, and we will accept electronic money transfers. They'll pay for the seed, conditioning, mixing, marketing, and packaging when they buy our product. And then the Forbes seed revenue will be secondary to grass seed in the business, but we need to create both. We need to grow both to create the mixes. It's just a side note I've mentioned down here. So with that, that's a quick look through my business model canvas. Again, get that initial canvas written out, even if it is a little rough at the beginning. Those interviews will really help you shape it and form it into a great business plan, okay? And you'll be able to refer back to this canvas while you write your plan and be able to take pieces from it, the good pieces, and write them up in your plan. So I look forward to seeing what all you guys come up with this. That's going to be super cool. But for now, let's go ahead and look through the SWOT portion of this plan. It's very straightforward, outlining the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats portions, but it also it also includes strategies for opportunity strength strategies, opportunity weaknesses, threat weaknesses, and threat strengths. So if you see here, I'm sure you've all seen or created a SWOT analysis. So basically, these are the internal portions of your SWOT analysis, the strengths and weaknesses. I've included family support and participation, machinery currently on farm, etc. for my strengths. Weaknesses, we're located in a rural area. There's only one daughter interested in returning to the family operation. Some opportunities, so what outside influences could help build up this business? So the farm is located on a well-traveled state highway and growth within the industry as possible. Outlined this point up above, so it's not just a general statement, okay? and threats, what outside influences could help diminish this business. So we have a 60-mile road trip to Kearney, 70 miles to Grand Island, and 170 to Lincoln. So we're pretty in the middle of nowhere. We have impacts of climate change, as everyone does with agriculture businesses. And we're also close in proximity to another seed distributor. So the important part of this plan that I want to outline here that's different than typical SWOT analyses that you might have done in the past are the opportunity strength strategies and all of these other 3 strategies as well. So you're going to take your strengths and your opportunities and think of how you can combine them to build your business. So I'll improve promotion of sustainable production practices, increase the amount of Forbes seed available to customers, lowering the price and increasing demand, etc. So I'll then look at this next strategy section and take my weaknesses and try to combat them with the opportunities available. So, for example, to create a strong brand for Gloucester Grasslands will help diminish the weakness of being located in a rural area. Place clear branding around the yard and along highway will combine the opportunity of being well located on the highway with the need to get the brand perception elevated. Finally, let's go up to the market analysis portion of this business plan. This includes the characteristics and needs of the target market, growth trends or driving factors of the industry, and competitive environment. I'll start off by discussing just who I'll be targeting for each customer segment and expand into what their individual problems or pain points are. For example, in this second point here, Gloucester Grasslands would like to be a seed source for state and county roadside seeding projects. Their objectives are to stabilize the soil, prevent erosion, protect roadway structure, manage wildlife habitat, connect wildlife corridors, minimize maintenance, integrate the roadway into surrounding regional landscape, display native vegetation, minimize effects on biotic communities, and filter runoff pollutants. Whew. So, moving on, the growth trends are a lot of researched numbers and statistics that establish the growth in the industry and the need for my product. For example, I wrote the USDA invested $1.4 billion into Nebraska conservation in 2015, helping farmers and rangers improve the condition of natural resources. I've also listed acceptance rates into the conservation program, or CSP, and the number of acres that were enrolled each year. In the competitive environment section, I've listed my main competitors and their strengths and weaknesses. This will help me determine my competitive advantages over them. Finally, market acceptance stems from your business model canvas interviews. Outline some of the main takeaways you got from the discussions and why you discovered your business plan will be a great fit in the market today. For example, I wrote that one key point in several interviews was a desire for stronger relationships with the seed supplier.